On the last post that I just made a few minutes ago, comparing the group life insurance or employee life insurance with the personal life insurance, there was one point that I kind of glanced over without giving much details, which means, the point was the group life insurance that's offered with your employer gets more expensive with time, but I didn't actually explain how that works. So let me give you guys a little breakdown on what that means. So I put some notes up here. I'm going to try to read them and summarize it for you guys. Many people rely on life insurance provided through their employer, also known as group life insurance. While it's convenient and sometimes even free, up to a certain amount, like $50,000, here's why it may cost more in the long run compared to owning your own policy. Okay? I'm going to show you guys why it would cost more. First of all, it's not yours to keep. Your group life insurance ends if you leave your job. So if you leave, you no longer have any coverage. Whether you retire, change jobs, get laid off, or company stops offering it, it means you could lose coverage when you need it most. So if you have a policy with your employer and you've been with them for 5-7 years, and one day the employer decide to stop offering the coverage, you're just lost 7-8 years. Or if you get laid off, you also lose it. You have no coverage. So sometimes you could get laid off, and next thing you develop diabetes or cancer or heart attack, and you have no coverage. That's something important to keep in mind. Costs go up with age. That's the thing that I mentioned on the last post, but I didn't actually elaborate on what that means. I need to articulate this message clearly because this is very important. I was watching the video and I'm like, I really didn't say very much on there. Anyway, group life is usually term insurance that gets more expensive as you age. Employers often cover the cost when you're young, but if you want more coverage or stay on a plan as you age, the price jumps dramatically, sometimes every 5 years. So every 3 to 5 years, the price is going to go up, okay, if you need more coverage. Here's an example. A 55-year-old could pay 3 to 5 times more for the same group coverage than a 35-year-old. It's much more expensive as you age. You can lock in your low rate with personal policy. If you have your own policy and you get I gave the example last time. If you're in your younger years, 20s and 30s, and you can get $1 million policy to $1 million, $3 million, you might be paying $100. And that price is locked. No matter what, you're covered. It's $100, $3 million. That's set for life. Especially if you plan to keep coverage long term. Okay? Limited coverage. When you get your policy through your employer, the group life insurance, group policies often limited death benefit, usually 1 or 2x, or equivalent to your annual salary or double your annual salary. That's what I'm trying to say. That might not be enough to cover your mortgage, final expense, or provide long-term security for your family. I mean, imagine if you're making $50,000, for example. If they give you a life insurance for $50,000, that's really not enough to cover mortgage, final expense, provide long-term security for your family. So $50,000 is not going to do anything. Even if you have $100,000, it's still not going to do anything. It might hold you up for a year or two, but it's not really. If you factor in everything that we pay every single month, $100,000 isn't really going to do very much. Okay. And here's something that I'm a huge fan of, and I'm very proud that I do what I do because I can offer this option. It's called living benefits. The group, when you get your when you get your policy through your employer, the group policy, it has 0 living benefits, which means when you get this policy through your employer, it means you have to die and your beneficiaries will get the living benefits or the face value. So here you have to die in order for the family to get the money. Where on, let me read this again. Most group policies don't include options like living benefits, money you can use while you're alive if you get seriously ill or injured. Many personal policies do offer this protection. So when you get a personal policy, all the policies that I offer, they come with living benefits, which means in the event of sickness, in the event of any accident or illness, this policy will pay. So if you have $1 million policy and you develop diabetes or get a heart attack, you get kidney failure, stroke, multiple sclerosis, dementia, Alzheimer's, any of these symptoms, there's many, many, many others. There's like, I think 20 different illnesses that they list in the policy. If you happen to get diagnosed with those, they advance the death benefit. So if you have $1 million policy and you do get sick, that's all on the personal side. On the employee side, you don't have any of that. You have no cash value, you have no living benefits, and it's going to get expensive as time go on. But anyway, let's stay on the personal side. When you get a personal policy, and you happen to get into an accident and you're unable to perform to daily living, like eating and bathing, for example, and if you have $1 million policy, they will give you that money. That's where the living benefits come into place. That's when it's really nice. In my opinion, insurance policies are worth 0 if they don't have living benefits, because you don't want to wait to die for your family to get the money. What if you get injured, something happened to you, or you get seriously major sickness or major injury, and you're unable to produce the paycheck anymore? If you're the only income earner in the house and that paycheck stops, what are you going to do? You need some income to come in to cover the mortgage, so the house doesn't get repoed. You want to make sure that the car payment's done. You want to make sure that the bank doesn't take the house, especially if you have equity in the house, which means you're going to lose your house and the equity in the house. So you need some type of income coming in. And that's where the living benefits are really, really nice feature to have when you get a personal policy, where on the employee side, that doesn't even exist. Okay. So living benefits is really nice. No living benefits on the employer side policy, but you definitely have living benefits on the personal side policy. All right, let's do a quick summary. Group life with your employer, and a personal policy. The group life ends when you leave your job. You no longer have protection here. You're on the personal side, you own it for life or term of that you choose. So if you get a term policy, say for 30 years, for example, you are covered for 30 years. You have a set price, your monthly premium is set at $50, and your coverage is $1 million. And that never changes. That stays with you forever. Another thing we should look at is cost rises as you age, which I already talked about. But with your employer, like say if you leave and you had your policy for 8 years with your employer, and you leave and you're like, man, I don't have any insurance now. I need to go get a policy. So now you're 8 years older. When you call me, try to get a policy, and I'm going to be like, oh my God, I wish we got it earlier. And you're going to say, oh, I did have it with my employer, but I'm no longer there. I changed careers and I'm no longer covered. I no longer have any coverage. So you're always having the risk of cost rises as you age when you're having with your employer. So the employer policy is really, really, it's nice to have, but I'm thinking it's good to operate by itself. You always need the personal policy. Does that make sense? Anyway, with the personal policy, cost stays fixed. if you lock in your rate early. So if you get your policy at a really young age and you're paying very small premium or monthly payment, and you have a huge face value, that stays the same. Nothing changes over here on your personal policy. Limited coverage. Your group policy, employer provided life insurance, has very limited coverage. You're only looking at 50,000, 100,000. So it's very, very small. Over here, you can go 500,000. You can go a million. You can go 10 million. You can go as high as you want. You can go 100 million if you like. No living benefits. On the group life insurance policy, you have no living benefits, which means if you get sick, anything happened to you, car accident, any type of accident, if you any major illness or major accident, you have no coverage here. Okay, no living benefits at all, which means you have to die for your heirs and beneficiaries to get the money here. But here, living benefits often included. Like I mentioned earlier, all the policies that I offer come with living benefits bundled into the policy at no additional charge to you. Some of the insurance policies, like say if you want to get critical illness added on there, it'll be like an extra $30 a year. If you want to add terminal illness, it'll be additional $15. If you want to add chronic illness, that'll be additional $15 or $20 or $30 every year. So that increases your monthly premium. But the policies that I offer, it's all included. The last lady that I spoke to, she was 51 years old, and I got her a policy for $800,000 with living benefits. It was only 164, somewhere around there, $160 for $800,000, including the living benefits, which is a really nice peace of mind to have. I hope that makes sense. If you guys have any questions at all, please leave them in the comment below and I'll get back to you. Or just comment Well Life and I'll reach out. Anyway, bottom line, employer life insurance is a nice perk, but it's not a long-term solution. Having your own personal policy gives you control, protection, and usually saves you money in the long run, especially if you get it while you're still healthy. I hope that answered your question, guys. I mean, not answer your question. I hope that clarified that one point where the group life insurance gets more expensive as time progresses, where the personal life policy, if you lock it in at a certain rate with a certain face value, nothing changes. It stays the same all the time. Yeah, so you have much more stability and flexibility over here, and you have more guarantees, and you have living benefits. You have a lot more to work with here than you would with your employer. I mean, your employee, one day the employer could say, we no longer offer life insurance. A week or a month or a year later, you get a heart attack, you get a stroke, something major happened, multiple sclerosis, anything, and you have no coverage. Where here, on the personal side, you own that policy and you'll have it for life. If you guys are interested in learning more, please comment Well Life and I'll reach out to you personally. If you want to text Well Life to 910-447-6508, I'll be more than happy to help you. This is free information. I'm an insurance broker, and this is what I do for a living. I love educating people. And one thing I want to mention before I go, I want to let you guys know that this is tax-free money. There's nothing in the marketplace that offer tax-free money. Your 401k gets taxed, CDs get taxed, a Roth IRA gets taxed, everything gets taxed except life insurance. Even banks, when you go deposit money into the banks take that money and they buy life insurance with it because they want to increase their assets and they love having tax-free money. Just think about that. No taxes. They'll give you the whole thing. And you don't have to report it to IRS. It's not reported as an income. So you get it completely tax-free. It's incredible, yeah? So listen, guys, I'm trying to offer you a solution for something that's really, really important. It's going to happen. You are going to get sick and you are going to die. We all going to die. We all going to get sick. So instead of that day being a disaster, I can completely turn it 180 and make it a happy day. So instead of having to lose all your asset and just be mentally dazed and confused for years and months and days and so on and so forth, and having to worry about your continuing your lifestyle, taking care of the spouse, taking care of the children, the mortgage, the vehicles, the bank account getting depleted, and so on and so forth. I'm offering you a solution that is very, very, very affordable, that will guarantee you that nothing will ever happen to you financially. You know, imagine you buying a policy from me today, and 2 months later, 3 months later, you get a call from your doctor and they say, come in for annual checkup, and they do the checkup and they're like, you're developing diabetes, you have a stroke, you have lymphoma, you have kidney failure, it's going to happen. Everything's poisoned anymore. The air is poisoned, the food is poisoned, the water's poisoned, it just seems like there's carcinogenic and cancer causing in everything that we consume these days. I mean, unless you have your own farm and you're doing everything in the backyard, the chance of you consuming something clean and healthy, it's impossible. Even the air that we breathe anymore, I hear the stories about chemtrails, and it's unbelievable what's going on right now. It's very difficult to trust, you know. Of course, it's all theory, but we don't know whether it's true or not true, or I don't know if any of this stuff has been fact checked. But anyway, what I'm trying to say, guys, is by investing very little money while you're young and healthy, you guarantee you'll never, ever, ever run into a financial problem anymore. One thing I want to mention too, I spoke to, this is really important, I'm glad I remembered it now. I had a conversation with one of my clients just recently, and he mentioned something about, he's the kind of guy that he just rents and he leases cars, and he just doesn't own any assets. And he said, I don't know what I would do with the life insurance policy. I don't own any assets, so I don't have to worry about mortgage. I don't have to worry about car payment. He just leases cars and rent homes, you know? So I'm like, that really got me thinking. I'm like, you know what? Maybe my message that I'm conveying to my clients or to my audience is not very clear. So I explained to that gentleman that this money is yours to do whatever you want to do with it. So I was trying to be comical about it, but at the same time, I was trying to be very serious. I'm like, you know what? You could take that money and book a cruise on the best boat or ship in the world, and meet new people every day, go to different places every day, have somebody clean for you, somebody cook for you, somebody entertain you, and just use that money to vacation. You can do whatever you want to do with that money. It's yours. You take that money and you live with it however you want. If you want to let that bank take the house, let them take it. If you want the bank to take, or the vehicle to get repoed, let them take it. And then you can just take that money and live a new lifestyle. Just start from zero. Move to Hawaii, move to Japan, move to whatever, and just start a brand new slate. So I just want to let you guys know this money is tax-free and it's available for you to do whatever you want. And imagine turning $50 into $1 million, or turning $100 into $10 million. I'm proposing that option for you guys. It is possible, and it's a lottery ticket that you are going to cash for sure. It's a winning, I'm offering you a winning lottery ticket, and no one has to die. You can use it while you're alive. In the event of major accident or major illness, the living benefits will advance that money to you. It's a great deal, yeah? And the younger you are, the less you're going to pay, and the bigger your face value. I'm going to stop right here, guys. Thank you so much for listening to me. And if you have any questions, please leave them below. And you can reach me directly on my, you can call me or text me, 910-447-6508, or comment One Life, and I'll get back with you personally. Thank you so much, and best of luck. And I appreciate those of you guys that have the foresight, that's been reaching out and wanting to protect their future and what really matters, their spouse, their children, and their education, and prevent any catastrophe from happening down the road. Have a great day, and best of luck. Talk to you soon. Bye-bye.